Well, one of the things about addiction, many people do what they call cold turkey. And you will find, I've seen this. There was a place, Victory Outreach. It was this Christian place where I went to school down in Southern California. And these Mexicans who were, they were like hardcore drug addicts, and they would find Jesus, and the next day they would just stop everything. And so religion has that power. If somebody really is willing to submit to God, then they have the power to overcome even the worst addictions. And one of the things, pornography will destroy your inner eye. It will destroy, because you will not get rid of those images. And so you have to really guard yourself. The eye, Marabt al-Hajj said, "Al-ayn la tata'allaqu bi-kabira." He told me this. "Al-aynu la tata'allaqu bi-kabira, walakinnaha asra'u jariha li-ifsad al-qalb."
Wow.
So looking at something is a saghira that you shouldn't look at. And I wouldn't say, if you're looking at pornography, that you're entering into the realm of kabir. Because for a couple of reasons. One, it's you're looking at people, their aura purposefully. So the first is for you, the second is against you. That's accidental. That's like if you're walking and you see a beautiful woman, or the woman, a man, whatever, and then they look away. So the first one was for you, just Allah's beauty. You witnessed something of Allah's beauty. But the second one, if إِذَا تَسْتَمِرُّ فِيهِ, like if you continue that, then it becomes sinful if you look upon something lustfully. And so looking, there's a pathology called peeping Toms. And this is in the books, like people that want to watch secretly other people having in intimate relations. That's what they turn you into, a peeping Tom. And so, and historically, people couldn't get away with this because they used to have these places in cities that were covered up, that the windows were covered up, and people would go in with their overcoats and a hat so nobody could see them because they were so ashamed. Whereas what the internet has done is it's opened up all of this facade. And now we've become a shameless society where pornography is openly done. And so it's really tragic because these young kids that are growing up on this, it will have such harmful effects on their marital relationships if they ever get married, their view of women, because all pornography, it degrades both men and women, but it's particularly degrading to the woman. It's degrading for both a male and a female, but it's particularly degrading for the woman. And, according to Chris Hedges' book that I read, and that second chapter, I regret reading it because it was just so intense in its graphic discussion. But he was trying to make a point about what's happened to the culture. Pornography today is not like, the 1950s or something where it was Playboy magazine. Pornography is violent. Much of it is violent against women. There's a place apparently in San Francisco where you can live stream women being tortured. You can pay to watch women being tortured. And what kind of a society is that? What has happened to people in their hearts that this is the type environment? So I know this is a problem with the young people, when the appetites are obviously stronger, the shahwa is stronger. That's just human nature. When you're young, these things are more troublesome. But we have to resist these things. And people are going to be in these horrible cycles of perpetrating something, feeling guilty, having a lot of self-loathing, which is not healthy. So they just start hating themselves and feeling sick to their stomach. So those things, if you're freed of those things, you're going to just feel much better about yourself. And it's liberating. It's also, there's nothing better than self-discipline, just in terms of just really controlling your nafs. There's a real sense of achievement, accomplishment in doing that. Even for one day, to not backbite for one day, and to finish that day, you will feel a pride in that achievement. That's healthy pride.
Yeah.
I got through this day without speaking ill of anybody. And so
that's the element of nafs lawama. It just, you feel so
exactly. And those are cycles, and Iblis plays on those. I mean, Iblis just loves the self-loathing. You're pathetic. You're never going to be able to do it.
Wow.
And this is the self-talk that the nafs and shaitan are in cooperation on this. You're never going to do it. Forget it. You're a failure. You just have to keep struggling. It's very important. And Sheikh
teenagers,
go ahead.
Teenagers are falling into that trap now, and they're losing self-confidence. They feel depressed, and it's the same small habits. And I say this often in my speeches, and I'm trying to coach you on this, Sheikh, is that it's for wilaya, it's one, two problems only. Like a person can be in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, amma man khafa maqama rabbih wa nahan nafsa anil hawa. It's like, it's not the ayah, it's not extended where there's a longer discussion. Wa nahan nafsa anil hawa fa innal jannata hiya al ma'wa. Like the first step on the hawa and the next step in Jannah. So it's like the small things, like people sometimes they make big of it, like, oh, I gotta get rid of my habits. Like, what are we talking about? It's that one overarching issue that's causing you anger, that's causing you frustration. Go ahead, Sheikh. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say that the thing about self-loathing and depression, if you're doing things that are wrong, your soul's going to feel it. Mm. And one of the things about the materialistic science I was just listening to, we have our first medical graduate this year, and she did a little clip about how she was prepared by Zaytuna for medical school.
Wow.
But one of the things she said is that, and it was really nice to hear her say this. She said that she just realized that because of the materialistic foundations of Western medicine, that there's no understanding of the soul, that all mental health is looked at as this material problem. So you have you have imbalances in your blood chemistry, or your serotonin levels have dipped, or this or that. And she was saying how, because Islam has a whole psychosocial dimension that's spiritual, and so if you're engaged in haram activities, you're going to feel horrible about yourself. It's just as simple as that. And as you move out of it, that's why the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, للصائم فرحتان فرحة حينما يفطر وفرحة حينما يلقى ربه. The farha, I love this from Imam Nawawi. He said that the farha of finishing the fast was not the food, it was the accomplishment.
Yeah,
that's the real farha, that you did it. You reached the victory line, and it's the sweetness of victory, right? And ma'asiyah is the bitterness of defeat, because Iblis won that round. But the important thing to know is that this is a 15-round match with Iblis. It doesn't end till you die. So if you lose the third round, I mean, the nice thing about boxing is that it's a horrible sport. But the nice thing about it is you can be doing terrible for 14 rounds, but in that 15 round, you just lay him down. And that's the comeback. And that's the way you have to be with Iblis. This is a 15-round match, and you have to be fortified, and you have to be ready, and just get in there and box his ears off. And if he boxes your ears off for one round, just know, there's going to be another round, and it doesn't end till the last breath.
Wow. Mufti Saab, go ahead, Mufti Saab. I know you're listening. I haven't given you guys a chance to.
There's one of the Arab poets. He said, "Nun al-hawani min al-hawa masruqatun, fa idha ishtahayta laqita hawana." The hawan, which is like humiliation, the noon of it was stolen from hawa, because hawa is, if you add a noon to it, it becomes hawan. He said, when your passions get the best of you, you will be humiliated.